Investigators say Erika Kirk's own mother, Lori Fransby, allegedly sits on Superfeed's board. The odds of that coincidence? Astronomical.
I was living in China and doing a lot of work with the victims from trafficking. Work with a orphanage in Romania.
They had a very good relationship. My mom and Charlie were best friends. We joked around that, we joked around that he was the favorite child.
We as the American people deserve to have every Epstein file released with no redactions whatsoever, period. I'm pushing for that both privately and publicly, just so you know.
Different news outlets trying to get their own information, especially with the Epstein stuff that's going on.
More jaw-dropping revelations just came out about Erika's past, and they're shaking things up fast. It's all pointing toward her mother, Lori Fran, and an alleged connection to Epstein through Erika's so-called Romanian Angels ministry. And yes, Romania's name is right there in the freshly leaked Epstein files.
Is Erika Kirk banned from a European country for taking children? Well, so some people are saying on social media. You can see a couple of the posts.
Reports say a foundation tied to Epstein made secret payments to a Romanian bank account. But who got the cash? Nobody knows because the name's been blacked out. Now the internet detectives are going wild. They're digging through old photos, piecing together details, and some seriously suspicious links are surfacing, all allegedly tied to this Romanian Angels group. Up until now, everyone's been side-eyeing Erika over her Romania connection, but the newly leaked pics suggest something even crazier. Her mom, Lori, might have been the one pulling the strings all along. So who really is Lori Fran? How deep does this supposed Epstein-Romania link actually go? The deeper people dig, the darker it seems to get. Before we dive into Lori's possible involvement, we've got to talk about this Epstein-Romania trail, because it makes the Romanian Angels thing look a whole lot more suspicious. When new Epstein court documents were unsealed, online sleuths jumped straight into the financial records, and what they found was wild. A payment trail worth over $30,000 traced straight to Romania. According to U.S. court filings from a civil case involving J.P. Morgan Chase and Epstein, the transfer went to a bank account at Bank of Transylvania in the city of Iași, Romania. The name of the person who owned the account? Completely redacted, but the city and bank are clearly listed. You can even find it reported in the Romanian press, all based on those same U.S. court documents. And get this, the money came from a foundation controlled directly by Epstein himself, called the COUQ Foundation. That's not just a random wire transfer. That's a smoking trail leading back to one of Epstein's own operations. But that's not even the only time Romania shows up in those files. The documents also mention that a large number of Epstein's alleged victims came from Eastern Europe, with Romania right there next to Albania, Moldova, Bulgaria, Russia, Belarus, and Ukraine. When Epstein's name shows up next to a country in official documents, history tells us one thing: there's almost always more lurking beneath the surface. Something big might have been happening behind closed doors. And speaking of things lurking under the surface, we've got to talk about Erika's mother, Lori Fran, and what she really does for a living. Turns out, Lori isn't just any regular mom. She's a tech entrepreneur with decades of experience, a bunch of mysterious companies under her name, and connections that run deep into government and military circles. That alone has people raising eyebrows. Lori's portfolio is packed with odd, high-level tech firms that claim to deliver super specialized services. One of her companies, AZ Tech International, even boasts that it provides expert project and earned value management solutions for the Department of Defense and the Department of Energy.
She chose to move to Phoenix from Ohio because there was more of an opportunity for a female business owner out here, especially from the standpoint of she was getting involved with the government, so Homeland Security and Department of Defense. And so she had other business partners that were out here that were already in that industry, even one that was a mentor of hers. So it was really convenient to be able to come all together in one place to really have that.
Yes, actual U.S. government agencies. Basically, she's been in business with some of the most powerful institutions in America. Erika herself even confirmed it back in a 2020 interview, saying the family moved to Arizona specifically because of Lori's contracts with the Department of Defense and Homeland Security. That's not some vague rumor. That's straight from Erika. But here's where it gets even more suspicious. Lori's not just tangled up with U.S. defense. Her reach allegedly stretches overseas too. Social media investigators claim her other company, GTEC, had ties to controversial projects abroad through Raytheon.
Remember, Raytheon partnered with Israel's Rafael to build the Iron Dome missile defense system. At the very core of that technology are advanced semiconductors, the same kind of tech Lori's companies claim to work with, and they were contracted with them. Because in 2025, Donald Trump himself pushed for building what he called a gold dome over America, modeled directly after Israel's Iron Dome.
One of the biggest defense contractors in the world. And remember, Raytheon teamed up with Israel's Rafael to develop the Iron Dome missile defense system. Now here's the kicker. The core of that Iron Dome tech relies on advanced semiconductors, the exact same kind of technology Lori's companies claim to work with. And that connection might not be a coincidence. Reports say that back in 2025, Donald Trump pushed for building what he called a gold dome over America, directly modeled after Israel's Iron Dome. If Lori's tech companies were anywhere near that project, that could be yet another hidden link between Erika's powerful mother and the darker world surrounding Epstein's network. Even Charlie had been sounding the alarm about this before he was silenced. People close to him say he was obsessed with uncovering how these defense and tech deals connected to global power circles.
Lies that Epstein, with his little friend Ghislaine and Ghislaine's father, Robert Maxwell, who was obviously a spy of the Israeli intelligence agencies, that there was something else going on here. Epstein was not some sort of whiz-kid hedge fund manager. Epstein was playing a part. Epstein was a LARPer. Epstein was cast for a specific role, and he played it really.
The deeper he dug, the more convinced he became that there was a major cover-up, one protecting powerful foreign interests. Something big was being hidden, and it's all starting to sound way too connected.
Go talk, let people ask questions, figure out what the heck is going on. Was Jeffrey Epstein an intelligence asset? Now the Israeli government has come out and said, nope, he was not one of ours, under no means necessary. And so, was he Saudi? Was he MI6? Was he CIA? We do not know. And our audience is really fired up about the story. We've been covering it extensively.
But that's not even close to the end of it. Charlie wasn't just speaking out, he was demanding everything. Before things took that dark turn, he was calling for the full release of the Epstein files, and he wasn't shy about it either.
We as the American people deserve to have every Epstein file released with no redactions whatsoever, period.
In one of his last college debates, he straight up said he was pushing for the documents to be made public, both behind closed doors and out in the open. He wanted the truth out there, no matter who it exposed.
We, the American people, ran on transparency. We deserve to see the entire client list. Every document the government has regarding the Epstein files, we, the American people, should have on an easy-to-access website immediately in a very, very quick fashion. I'm pushing for that both privately and publicly, just so you know.
Now here's the strange part. Erika claims her biggest mission as the new CEO of TPUSA is to continue Charlie's legacy. But if that's really the case, why has she stayed totally silent about the Epstein files, the very thing Charlie was fighting for? This was something he clearly cared about with his whole heart. So why isn't she carrying that torch? And what about her mom, Lori? Erika once even said that Charlie was her mom's favorite child.
My mom and Charlie, they were best friends. I would always say that Charlie was her favorite child.
With all of Lori's deep government ties, you'd think she'd be first in line to honor him by demanding those files be released too. But nope, nothing but silence from both of them. That's got people asking one huge question: why? This is where things start connecting back to that suspicious Romania link again. Leaked photos are now showing Lori directly involved with the Romanian Angels projects, and online chatter is heating up with speculation that something darker was going on behind the scenes. Remember, Erika was only around 17 or 18 when she launched her so-called charity, Everyday Heroes Like You. One of her first big international moves was the Romanian Angels program, which, interestingly enough, was backed by the US military. Let's be real here. There's no way a teenager was managing all of that alone. The more realistic theory, Lori was quietly orchestrating the whole thing from the shadows. And it totally adds up. Lori already had military connections through her own defense-linked tech companies, but it gets even wilder. In one of Erika's old videos where she talks about Romanian Angels, there's a special thank you message at the end addressed to Colonel Busher of the US Army. Now that name isn't just random, and once you find out who Colonel Busher really is, things start to make a lot more complicated. Something about that shout-out just doesn't sit right. According to a Romanian newspaper article published back in 2010, a former translator from an American military base in Romania made a disturbing claim that a secret brothel was actually operating right there on base and that underage girls were being brought in. The translator even went as far as filing a criminal complaint with Romanian authorities. But here's where it gets frustrating. Despite a supposedly extensive investigation between both American and Romanian officials, nothing truly came of it. The reason? A 2001 agreement between the two countries was cited. An agreement that basically handed over investigative authority to the US, meaning Romania had to step back and let the Americans handle it. But guess what? According to the report, that investigation never really happened. It was brushed aside, buried in red tape, and then quietly forgotten. Now here's where things get seriously unsettling. Remember that name, Colonel Otto Buscher, the same man Erika thanked at the end of her Romanian Angels video? Well, the very same translator who exposed the alleged brothel claimed that Commander Buscher himself was among those who benefited from the situation. And that's not all. Another piece from the Romanian press even alleged that Colonel Buscher tried to delete files from the translator's computer, including alleged messages where he was seen negotiating prices for the girls. That detail alone is chilling. So when you start putting all these puzzle pieces together, it paints a seriously dark picture. Even if we can't say for sure what really happened. First, there's the documented Epstein-Romania connection, then Erika and her mother tied to the Romanian Angels program, and finally, Lori's professional links to government and military circles. When you line it all up, the coincidences start looking a lot less like coincidences and a lot more like a cover-up. Something about this entire web just doesn't feel right. The silence, the links, the timing, all of it. Maybe there's more hiding beneath the surface, waiting to be exposed. If you made it this far, hit that like button, subscribe, share this video, and drop a comment with your thoughts. Do you think Erika and Lori know more than they're saying? Let's talk about it, because this story is far from over.